everyone, my name is Dr. Sandman. I hope that all of you are doing great. Welcome to another Mutterings videos, one of these videos. So today's boire du jour is water. I'm dehydrated. So this is a Pulp Fiction Stein. Yeah, so if you're new to my Muttering series, it is a series where I just have a sip and talk about whatever the fuck I want. This Mutterings is inspired by a conversation I recently had with my friend Cooper. Hi Cooper, if you're watching. And he said I should make this into a video, so that's what we're doing today. First, I would like to clear the air a little bit and talk about dress codes in high schools. Yes, they are very messed up. I don't know how they are in like other countries, but in America they are very messed up. They're too strict. They're definitely more heavily weighted against young women. That's my cat being an acrobat. They're definitely more weighted towards young women and kind of antagonizing them for nothing, for no reason. And depending on your school, because every school's dress code is different, but depending on your school, they could definitely also be very religiously and racially intolerant. So dress codes are no good, and a lot of the times people who get dress coded aren't even violating any of the rules. For example, I was never dress coded in high school, but here's the thing, I definitely should have been. Yes, I understand that dress codes, not that they should be abolished, but they should be fair. And so there are some things that are just not school appropriate. But most things that are banned in dress codes are completely fine and should be allowed. I was never dress coded, but I definitely should have been. But to start this tale, I'm gonna have to go all the way back to when I was a wee lad in elementary school. So when I was, I think, 9 years old, well, my whole life really, I've really liked spooky things. I like darkly inclined things. Halloween has always been my favorite holiday. Even as a small child, I've always loved goth things, alternative things, spooky, scary things, spooky, scary skeletons. So when I was about 9, I went to my parents, namely my father, because every year, we didn't buy clothes all year round because we were poor. So every year we had like a little bit of a shopping trip right before school because that's when we expected it, and you know, when you're kids you grow, so you have to get new clothes every year. Hello beings. And so I asked my father, I said, could I please next year dress goth? As a 9-year-old I was asking this, and he said, no, I'm not gonna let you wear that trash. And I was very embarrassed, and I went to my room, and I could hear him saying to my mom what I had asked, and she goes, oh my god. They were very disgusted. Which, can we talk about this for a second? Weak behavior. So here's the thing. My parents named me Raven. Raven is my name. Not spelled like the bird, spelled R-A-V-I-N, not E-N, but said the same. Can we talk about how ludicrous this is? Usually when other alternative people meet me and I say, oh yeah, my name is Raven, nice to meet you, they'll say, oh, that's cool, my name's Pixie Corpse, but like, what's your government name? It's like, it's not a chosen name. I've never changed my name. It's the name I've had since birth. And you're gonna have that reaction? You named me after the most famous horror poem of all time in the world. And this is how you act? This is how you respond to that? You're gonna, when I say I want to dress goth, like, you're gonna name me after the bird that is the symbol of death in most cultures. And you're gonna be mad when I live up to the expectations? You're gonna be mad when I lean into it? Daft. So basically, I wasn't allowed to dress goth because my parents freaked out. They just, like, they wouldn't have it. They wouldn't even discuss it. They just, our child, our little like death black bird named child wants to dress goth. Can you imagine how they acted when they found out that I was homosexual? Just kidding, I'm not homosexual. I am gay. I'm asexual though, but I am gay. And also my parents do not know. naturally, I was crushed. I was gutted. This is what I wanted. I liked other things as a child, as I do now. As you can see, I like a lot of color, but I also like a lot of dark things. But I really wanted to be goth, and it was so beautiful to me. And the fact that that up until that point they weren't actually this way, but they seemed pretty allowing as a kid. The fact that they denied me this, I was crushed, and it seemed weird. So I did naturally what any other kid would do. They told me no, and I went to my room, and I decided, okay, if they won't let me dress goth right now, then I will slowly add more darker colored clothes into my wardrobe. And then after that, I will add more black clothes into my wardrobe, and then more alternative accessories until I have become what I want to be, and they will have not noticed because they've been slowly becoming immune to it over years. Because naturally, I had nothing else better to do as a third grader than to develop elaborate long-term schemes into tricking my parents into letting me dress like the Crow or Morticia Addams. And you see, my plan worked pretty well, because 13-year-old me just wanted to wear a Green Day shirt and black jeans to school. And it worked so well that by the time I was actually in high school, I was dressing like a dominatrix to class. I need to paint a picture for you. So what did I end up wearing to school, you might be wondering? I wore a PVC corset, a mesh top, fishnets, high-heeled black boots, collars, dark black makeup, spiked jewelry that had like the O-rings. I had pointed nails, and I shaved half my head. And when I say fishnets, I don't mean I wore fishnet stockings that you could see under ripped jeans. I mean you could see the top edge of the fishnets beneath where my shorts cut off. Keep in mind, this was also the student who would faint if a teacher asked me a question in class because my anxiety couldn't handle the attention. I dressed pretty much how I dress now. Of course, I didn't dress like this every single day. There were most days I dressed with a punk or goth band shirt, a black jacket, studded and hooped collars, the black dark heavy makeup, and black jeans, and these black Harley Davidson motorcycle boots. And I had the pointed fingernails that I do now. Some of them are broken off, but same kind of deal. And that's because I live in New York, and over half of the school year is winter, so wearing my dominatrix outfit wasn't practical for every day, but I did wear that pretty often enough to say that that's how I dressed in high school. I once wore a corset that went up to here and nothing but a bra underneath it. I once wore a t-shirt that I did not realize until recently had Californian slang for the term blowjob on it. And no one said anything! What is the lesson from this? What can we learn from this? What I learned is that you can wear essentially whatever you want to high school, as long as what you wear is so far out of their dress code and out of the parameters that they haven't even listed because it was just considered common sense, that they don't know what to do with you. I will say this about my school, however, is that yes, I may have been dressed like Elvira and had much of my underage body exposed, but there were students who had morph suits and came into school with morph suits on and had every inch of their body covered, and they got dress coded. So their moral boundaries and their priorities were definitely kind of blurry. Now you may be wondering something, is that did you ever get sent to the principal's office for violating the dress code? And I mean violating the dress code. The answer is no. Not only did I never get sent to the principal's office for violating dress code, I also just never got sent to the principal's office because I was a very well-behaved and quiet student. If I were more self-aware at the time, I would have used my wardrobe as a political statement, because that would have been a perfect example to point out to the administration, like, hey, your dress code is flawed, or at least your enforcing of it is flawed. And no, not only did I never get in trouble for it, no one ever even commented on it. No one ever said, like, yeah, Raven, we know you're wearing literal lingerie to algebra, but God forbid, Susie, wear a tank top in 99 degrees Fahrenheit weather. Like, no one said anything to me at all. Never. Now, did they say things behind my back? I don't know. I have no way of knowing. And I'm talking about teachers here. I don't give a shit what the students thought. Teachers, staff, no one said anything to me. I think the reason that I got away with it was due to two reasons. One, I didn't cause any trouble. I just didn't talk to anybody, did my classwork. That's a lie. I showed up to class and I didn't cause any other problems outside of that. And the other reason is because I think I was just so far outside of the dress code that they couldn't have called me out on it. We had a dress code rule that you could not wear strapless shirts, and you could not, if you had a thin strapped shirt, it had to be at least 2 fingers width. And we had another rule that said that your shorts, skirts, pants, whatever, had to be 2 inches above the knee or longer. 2 inches above the knee or longer. And then they saw me and they said, a corset isn't even a shirt, and your shorts are a foot above the knee, but so are your ripped stockings. And collars and BDSM harnesses aren't even mentioned in the handbook, so you're free to go. Look, I know that dress codes are really fucked up and sometimes just bizarre, and they're really heavily weighed towards the girls and not the boys. I understand that, and they're really messed up, but somebody should have sent me to the principal's office. Somebody should have said something. Somebody should have said, you maybe need to stop. I was talking to one of my friends about this, and he said, well, at that point you're breaking the dress code so thoroughly that if somebody called you out on it, they would have to admit that they could see things that they shouldn't have been looking at. And I get that. That's a fair point. But I retort, if it's at that point where they're like, they would have to admit that they're seeing things that they shouldn't be looking at, then it's then their responsibility to do something about it so that it is not perpetuated, so that other people do not see this. Like, for the love of God, somebody should have said, maybe we should tell this minor that we can see their bazongas, and that's not allowed. Nobody said anything, least of all my parents. Because I need to remind you guys that this started was because my parents wouldn't let me dress goth at an early age. So I went balls to the wall with it. It worked so well. And it worked so well that, so I forgot to mention, I don't know if any of you are thinking, oh, well, I'm guessing that you just took your goth clothes to school and got dressed at school and then did your makeup at school and, you know, did that. Because I know a lot of people who did that, and, you know, this isn't like an uncommon experience. I got on the bus looking like that, and my parents hadn't left for work yet. My parents left for work after we got picked up by the bus. They saw what I was wearing. They knew. They were under no illusion. And they said nothing. My parents, when I was 10, said, you can't wear goth shit. And by the time I was 16, they let me get on the bus looking like a macabre prostitute. So, the lesson of today's story. If you want to dress goth or alternative or any kind of things that your parents won't allow, you can do it. You still can. You just have to train them like they're dogs so that it's such a gradual change that they are not fazed by it. It worked that well. It worked so well. I got a tattoo in high school, which is not legal in the state of New York. You have to be the age of 18 to get a tattoo in New York State. But it worked too well. It worked too well. And this started a long history of doing things that my parents didn't approve of. A lot of times behind their back, and a lot of times right in plain sight. Like being trans. So yeah, if there's a lesson, it's you can do what you want. You just gotta be willing to put in the time and the effort. And I was willing, and I succeeded. And if anything, I can. This whole story attests to the fact that it's not just a phase. No, but really, parents will tell you it's just a phase. You'll grow out of it. And my parents told me the same thing. Like when I was a wee lad, asking if I could dress goth, they said like you're not gonna like it after a while. We're not gonna let you dress like that. You're not even going to want to dress that way for a long time anyway. Fast forward, I never stopped wanting to dress that way, and I don't think that I will. And if I do, that's fine. Everything's a phase. Life is a phase. The state of being alive is a phase. Let your kids dress how they want, because if you don't, they're gonna do it anyway, and in a way that makes you look like an idiot. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, or you can leave a comment if you'd like. Tell me, is there anything that you did in high school that your parents did not approve of? And you tricked them. I really want to know, is there something that they didn't approve of that you did anyway right in front of them and got no repercussions for it? And I will leave all my social media and links in the description below, and subscribe for more videos. Tell me if there's anything else you want me to talk about my high school life in these mug mutterings videos. And I will see you in my next video. Love you, bye!